co-host, Toastmaster Anil.
Tonight, we don't just open a meeting, we open a portal. A journey begins through pixels and panic, deadlines and design dilemmas.
A world where Canva tabs multiply like rabbits, where one poster becomes 10, and every midnight ping with, hey, does someone have the club logo again?
This isn't just a role, it's a rite of passage. Welcome to the VPPR saga, where creativity meets caffeine and courage.
Yes, we are talking about you, the Vice President of Public Relations, the unsung heroes, the silent storytellers, the flyer creating, the reels chasing wizards we didn't know we needed.
We know the thoughts you had when you stepped into PR. Branding? Strategy? Wait, I signed up for Toastmasters, not Mad Men.
That's why this isn't just a session, it's a transformation. Welcome to Brandmasters, where Canva meets courage and templates meet strategy.
Before we dive in, let's meet the heroes holding the fort tonight.
First up, the one who guards our time with precision and passion, a vibrant orator and a photography lover, our timer, PR Ninja Shalu Sadir.
He's the gatekeeper of links and savior of screenshots. From Mar Gregorius College, our tech ninja, our very own PR ninja, Toastmaster Abhiram Raj.
And now, to light our path with wisdom and energy, let's welcome the visionary, leading Division G director, Toastmaster Rajeshwari, for the opening address.
Hello, everyone. Am I audible and visible? Can I get a thumbs up? Thank you. Thank you, ninjas. Thank you, everyone. Division G, how is the Josh? Can I see some emojis? Yes, it's a working day. Yes, everybody is tired. I know, but we are here, the PR brand masters. Okay, let's hope that as this procession progresses, the energy level will go high. So let me welcome all of you to Brandmasters. This initiative is crafted by our very own Division GPR manager, Anil Constantine. Let me begin with a small personal anecdote. A few months ago, a guest walked into one of our club meetings, invited by a friend. So she later said, the energy in the room was great, but what caught my attention first was your posture. It felt professional, warm, and made me curious. I knew I had to attend. So that's the power of branding. Don't you agree? It's not just about how things look, it's also about how people feel when they come across our club's presence, both online and offline. Good branding builds curiosity, and great branding builds trust. And consistent branding builds legacy. That's what we are aiming at Division G. As Toastmasters, we pride ourselves on transforming lives through communication and leadership, don't we? But to continue inspiring the world, we must present ourselves in a way that's clear, credible, and compelling. Every social media post, every event flyer, every club newsletter contributes to that story. Today's session, led by our own Anil Constantine, a brand expert, is your gateway to become not just a communicator, but also a brand custodian. Let me quote Chef. He said, your brand is what people say about you when you are not in the room. Let's make sure that they say something remarkable. Let's take notes, ask questions through the feedback form, which will be shared after the session, and most importantly, take what you learned back to your clips. That's very important. Let the Toastmaster brand shine through all of you. Wishing you all an enriching and energizing experience through Brandmasters. Thank you. Over to the MCs.
Thank you so much, Division G Director Toastmaster Rajeshwari. Your energy continues to shape the heartbeat of Division G. You remind us that leadership is also about legacy.
Of legacy. Behind every unforgettable brand is a strategist with vision, a storyteller who doesn't just design identity but defines it.
Our speaker tonight is exactly that, a brand architect who has shaped some of the most iconic institutions across continents. From Dubai Shopping Festival to Ima Properties, from Dubai Financial Markets to Millennium Hotels, from Dubai Opera to Ferrari World. He's been the man behind the curtain, turning ideas into institutions.
The Tradex, a branding powerhouse based in Trivandrum, and has authored over 15 brand guideline manuals that global corporations still follow.
But that's just one part of his story. He's also an opera singer who has performed with Andrea Bocelli and at elite venues like Lincoln Center and Dubai Opera.
A creator in every sense. When he's not building brands or singing on world stages, you'll find him deep in recent art, painting, writing, or Toastmastering.
So grab your notepads and buckle up because this isn't just a talk. This is your awakening into the world of brand building. Together, please welcome
Please
the
welcome
architect of
architect
impact,
of
Toastmaster
Master
Anil Constantine.
Anil Constantine.
Good evening, everybody. I would like to get straight into the meat of the presentation, which we prepared for everyone here. And can I just share this? Okay. Can everybody see a black screen? Okay. All right. Can you see the word brands right now? This is just a check, double check. Okay, fine. So this is the session 1, which says, why brand? Why do we need to brand in the first place? So I'm going to make all these sessions just 10 minutes, which is short, because if it goes any longer and there's no Q&A, it could go for hours, perhaps even days. We've been there before. So here we go. Why should we brand? I mean, why can't we just get along without branding? So is it possible to build? And okay, just to take you back into this question, let me take you back into a situation I was put into back in 1995. Is it possible to build an often ignored entity into a priceless top of mind and become the center of the world over a period of just 10 years? It seems impossible, but that's what it is. That's what we did. Back in 1995, myself including with a few other gentlemen and some ladies, were invited to a place called Dubai. And it was a place where nobody really wanted to come to at that time because we were just coming out of the Gulf War. Bahrain had some problems. And due to various reasons, nobody really wanted to come into anywhere in the Gulf. But there was one man who thought differently. There was one man who thought differently, and his name is Sheikh Mohammed bin Rashid Al Maktoum. He said, if the whole world is going left, we will go right. We will go to the right. And he came up with this idea why don't we build Dubai into a brand? And that's why we were all called. I had just come out of building a brand called Millennium Chain of Hotels and Resorts Worldwide, Batil, and also contributed to the development of the Volvo brand in Sweden. I had just come out of all these. And that's when we were called into this. And he made a statement: I will build it, they will come. When he first said this, it was not welcome. This statement, this entire attitude was not welcome at all. And the simple reason was everybody thought of only one angle. If you want to do something like this, you need to pour an endless amount of money into something which could be a hole in the ground, and you just keep losing money. But he said there is something far more powerful. We can make every dirham count through branding. And that's exactly what he did. He told us to build these brands, and we came up with these brands: Dubai Shopping Festival, MR Properties, Dubai Quality Awards, Dubai Financial Markets, Dubai Bank, Emirates Airlines to propel it to greater heights, Dubai Summer Surprises, and so many other brands we built in a period of just 2 years. And that is what drove the growth of Dubai and backed his statement: I will build it, they will come, because he was able to think of it holistically from a point of, it is not just about business, it's about families. So if I need people to come and settle down in Dubai, they should come and make their houses in Dubai. So MR Properties was started, freehold properties were started, and so on and so forth. If a place needs to be family friendly, we need to have a lot of shopping and a lot of festivity. And that's why Dubai Shopping Festival and Dubai Summer Surprises happened. So there's that ugly word again. I mean, I used to call it a really ugly word called brand. We could never really figure out exactly what it was. But then as time grew, as time moved on, we began to understand it's not a logo, unlike what most people think. It's not a logo, it's more than a logo. It's an experience, it's an idea. It's an idea that's maximized. And an idea is something that sets something apart. This is John Weber Young's definition. It's a classic definition of positioning. And it comes from the Greek word idea. Brands actually maximize ideas to realization and beyond. And that's what really brands do. It takes your idea and maximizes it to realization and beyond. And when I say beyond, a lot of brands even outlast their founders. For instance, you know of a brand called Ford, but is Mr. Henry Ford around anymore? No, he's not. And so, you know about a company called Boeing. Is Mr. Boeing around anymore? No, he's not. And that's what it goes beyond. That it takes an idea and gives it life, gives it legs to run on. So it helps you differentiate from your competition. In your case, it could be another club. It helps build recognition. It establishes trust. Like Rajeshwari was telling us, a great brand builds trust, and it's really all about building trust. In 10 years, we got the whole world to trust the Gulf again. We got the whole world to come back into Dubai. We got the whole world to look at Dubai as the center of the world. And it's grown beyond that now. It connects emotionally. Dubai today is an emotion. It's no longer just a city. There's even a song about it that goes about, how Dubai is actually my emotion and all that. It's a very powerful song. It drives loyalty and advocacy. A common joke among Malayalis in Dubai is that the capital of Kerala is Dubai. It's not Trivandrum. The capital of Kerala is Dubai because every Malayali wants to go to Dubai. Even the Malayalis in the US and the UK and Canada and Australia. You should see these guys. Every time they land in Dubai, they spend so much time getting lost in the airport and the shopping malls that they tend to miss their flights. And I've met quite a few of them. it increases business value, commercial value. People want to engage more with you. And most importantly, this is what I believe in, and I really found this to be true. It makes you think. A brand makes you think, no matter how obscure your target audience might be. So, can I make my club into a brand? Maybe your club is not so popular. And I'm telling you, yes, you can. And this session, this brief session, is really a bit about snippets on how to make your club into a brand. And in order to make your club into a brand, our next step is to get into session 2, which is all about positioning and branding. And there it is. He built it and they came. On that note, I leave you for session 2. Over to you, Aditi and Tangam.
Wow. I felt like I had a quick trip to Dubai. And plus, if session 1 showed us why brands matter, then let's be clear. A brand isn't just a logo or tagline.
It is a promise, a feeling, a story that people remember long after your poster disappears from their feed.
And with that, a branding sage has dropped truth bombs with style. From global giants to personal clubs, branding begins with purpose.
So, with that, coming up next, we move from why to how. Let's learn how to shape identity with precision.
Get ready to draft your positioning statement in session 2. Over to Toastmaster Anil.
Thank you, Aditya and Tangam, for that introduction to session 2. And a lot of people write thick volumes, copious number of pages on positioning and branding, and I've read most of them, but I like to break it down to the simplest. And the simplest explanation I can find is a chicken and its eggs. And it actually makes a lot of business leaders smile when I pull this out. So here goes. Positioning, what's it really all about? A hen has got 11 eggs, but it likes one egg more than the others. But how will that hen always identify it? How will the strange other hens, identify it? And how will they identify with it? This is the fundamental reason for positioning. Simple. You paint it a different color. Now you can't tell the you can tell the difference so clearly. 11x, one is the chosen one. Positioning answers the altruistic and question of why for a brand. Now, it's quite simplistic what I've done over here to show that it's okay. We can just make our club a red color club. No, it's really not as simple as that. But over here, in this simple way of showing, I can just set apart an egg from the rest of the eggs by coloring it differently. It shows the first step towards positioning because human beings are more complex than eggs. So, than chicken and their eggs. So we have to come up with something called a positioning statement. This is one of the first things I did before I started working for Smart Talk, before I started figuring out things for Smart Talk. This is the first thing I do before I build any brand. Okay? Now, if you got your pads and pencils ready, please take this down. To draft a positioning statement, this is the simplest format. You need a name, you need the benefits, you need the target audience, and you need the how. These are the 4 components that go into a positioning statement. Never forget this. This will apply across various aspects of your life and not just your Toastmaster club. So for instance, if you could look at Dubai's case, the draft would be something like this. Dubai is the best place for global citizens for people all around the world, for global citizens, because they have access to etc., 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 etc. So you see, it's actually a statement that's divided into 4 components. And that's very important to keep in mind. Does your positioning statement, can you break up your club into these 4 components? First, the name. Okay, you got the name right. What are the benefits that your club offers a total stranger? Okay, fine. Who is that total stranger? Can you put a name and a personality to that total stranger? And then finally, how? How are you going to deliver your beautiful benefit to the total stranger? And that is the next question. Can I build my Toastmasters club into a brand? This is something really quite deep. You've got to think about this. And we go into the next session. Session 3. Can I build my club into a brand? Please, Aditya, Tangam.
Oof. All right, let's catch our breath. We just went deep into positioning and branding, 2 of the most powerful forces behind any unforgettable brand.
A good brand tells people what you do. A great brand tells them what you are and why it matters.
So, whether you're building a club or your own identity, positioning isn't optional, it's essential.
So remember the positioning statement? It was just showed up on the screen. Now it's time to brace yourself. Session 3 asks the ultimate question. Can you build your club into a brand? And yes, we can. And for that, handing over to Toastmaster Anil.
This one is going to go straight into the meat of it. Build your club into a brand. If you're taken down the positioning statement format, good. If you're not, you still get a chance to do it in this session. So here goes. To build your club into a brand, first of all, you have to understand it. Understand it means it's not saying that we have 20 chairs in the room or we got great tube lights. No. You have to understand the soul of your club, if you will. You have to really go deep into the soul of your club. What is it in my club that attracts me in the first place? Attracts me to go to that club? Why don't I feel like going to another club, for instance? What is it? Understand it, understand your own desire, understand what attracts you. Explore what makes it different. Is it the fun? Is it the laughter? Is it the seriousness? Is it the quality? Before I settled in Smart Talk, I went to a few other clubs. I visited a few other clubs. But I finally ended up in Smart Talk because the main person over there is the ex-president, Rakesh. He's somewhere here, floating around this space in the audience. He had a very boisterous kind of mood. So I understood he was very relaxed. He was very easy to go deal with. He was very easy to go with. And that made me super comfortable because the last thing I wanted on a Sunday afternoon was somebody being super serious. That was my siesta time. It still is my siesta time. But the last thing I wanted was somebody being super serious and trying to explain to me how to speak and how not to speak. I wanted some fun, somewhere to relax. That's all. I didn't want to break my brains off. And that's why I came to Smart Talk. That's what attracted me to Smart Talk. It was the easy to go kind of a attitude that everybody seemed to have because that attitude was a bit contagious, and that's what attracted me. So I understood it as the easy to go, laid back kind of club. Explore what other clubs are doing. Before I entered Smart Talk, I did some shopping. I did some window shopping, and I tried to understand what the other clubs are offering. And I could compare, I could make an objective comparison, not a subjective comparison. I could make an objective comparison. I could even draw a matrix in my mind to say this ticks, this no, this ticks across various clubs. You have to do this ruthlessly to your own club. Find something other clubs do not do well or not at all, but is strong or unique in yours. Let me give you an example. There was a restaurant that was number 10 among the top restaurants in the world. And they took their staff one day to the number one restaurant in the world. And what the owner of the number 10 restaurant told his staff was observe what they're doing wrong. And they observed and they realized the number one restaurant in the world treats beer drinkers poorly, treats coffee drinkers poorly. So they took that weakness, went back to the restaurant, and started treating beer drinkers as good as wine drinkers, coffee drinkers as good as champagne drinkers, and suddenly they became number one almost overnight. They beat the number one restaurant almost overnight. It's really about meeting the need at the pain point, which a lot of people seem to forget, which a lot of people seem to misunderstand. Speak to your target audience on what they would like to see in a club, what they would like to see in your club. That's, I call that TAN. So your positioning statement was basically UQ plus TAN. Unique qualities plus your target audience necessities. Then write the positioning statement. In this case, I will show you the positioning statement I wrote before I started creating posters for Smart Talk. Even for a simple thing like creating posters, I write the positioning statement, perhaps because it's about branding. Name plus benefits plus target audience plus how. Okay? Now, here's the example. Smart Talk is the coolest Toastmasters club in the world because, etc., can relax and not dread being judged, because it provides an easygoing atmosphere to all proceedings. Simple. And that's what sets Smart Talk apart from the other clubs. Now, coming to the next one, the next steps. Now that I've written the positioning statement, I might be feeling grand about myself. But the reality is I got to translate that positioning statement into a nice poster or some nice design. And that's where the creative leap starts. One, start creating. Simpler said than done. This is probably the toughest part. You got to start with words. Start writing about your club, not drawing. Start writing about your club. Start writing about all the good things, all the bad things, what you would like to see in your club. Then think about imagery that feels right with your club. Now, don't go for crazy images which are not Toastmaster-ish. Go for images that are Toastmaster-ish and that also feels right with your club. Then look at the possible PR initiatives that could become extremely unique to your club. Then you use your tools. The tools available are the simplest: paper, pencil, crayons, etc. Nobody can complain they don't have access to these, even if you don't have a computer. I actually sold my first brand concept on the back of a cigarette box with a ballpoint pen. I did that when I was much younger, of course. And when I used to, anyway, on the back of a cigarette box, I could sell a concept for an IT firm, and they are one of the top IT firms in Dubai today. Excuse me. Look at online apps. There are plenty of online apps on which you can design. You can transfer your imagery and the words that you used, that you created with the paper, pencil, crayons, whatever, and you can recreate it through online apps. Then use AI tools like Canva, Sora, Midjourney, ChatGPT, and all that. All these, all these tools are perfectly all right in the world of Toastmasters. So you are completely fine with it. Now, here's what you create. The first thing you do is write a headline and a body copy. That headline must reflect the positioning statement creatively. Don't write the positioning statement as a headline. Nobody will understand what you're talking about. It's got to be making sense. It's got to take the leap. Design a layout. Stick to one format of design to build a recognizable brand out of your club. Follow the fundamentals of design. Guide the eye, golden ratio. We'll get into that more in the next session. Follow the Toastmasters International latest brand guideline manual. Stick to the primary colors. Use the highlight colors. Use only recommended fonts. Use Toastmasters themes. Session 4, live Canva demo poster creation. This will be a hands-on kind of a live Canva demo poster creation, which is about 20 minutes. And before we go there, I will just touch upon how to create a design before we actually jump into Canva. Thank you. Over to you, Tangam and Aditya. Here's the color palette I was talking about. And that's for the next session.
That was powerful. If you have ever doubted whether a Toastmaster club could be a brand, tonight we just proved it. It can and it should.
From consistent colors to compelling narratives, branding isn't just design, it's intention and impact.
And the best part? You are the brand builder. Not someday, not maybe, but now.
So let's put theory into action. Coming up is our final challenge, the live Canva demo. Design, decide, and deliver your club's next big visual. Over to you, Toastmaster Anil.
Thank you, Aditya. Thank you, Tangam, for that. Let's kick in right away. Okay. When I started off in advertising, they said the scariest thing in the world is a blank piece of paper. You have no idea what to do with it. And if you do something wrong with it, there are consequences. So I'm starting with my positioning statement. Smart Talk is the coolest Toastmaster club in the world, so its attendees can relax and not dread being judged, etc., etc. And because of this positioning statement and everything I've done based on this positioning statement, the club, it has contributed to the club getting a lot more members and a lot of attention from even total strangers. This is the first attempt at creating a poster for Smart Talk, where we said, there's a new XCOM coming on board. And if you see, all the posters form a similarity. It's almost like Marvel Comics. If you want to catch butterflies, don't chase them. Instead, build a beautiful garden and they will come to you. Even these other posters, the mini posters. But I'm just going to quickly run through this and get into the meat of it. Okay, coming to design. To start with the design, we're going to start designing a simple square poster. There you have a square. What do you do next? You break it into 4 squares. You break that into 16 squares. You break that into 64 squares. Now you have a square with 64 squares inside it. So there's a total of 65 squares. And I popped something at the corner to left. There's 2 eyes. Why did I do that? It's because you are designing for the human eye. You are not, and you're designing for a stranger's human eye. You're not designing for your own eyes. You got to keep that in mind. You're designing for an audience. This is commercial art. It's not fine arts where you're designing for yourself, where you're creating for yourself. You are designing to attract. You're not designing to only express yourself. So we belong to a civilization that reads from left to right ever since we've been to school. And we read from top left to bottom right. So our eyes tend to go by default in that direction. Therefore, we have to guide the eye. Your design should guide the eye. So on top, we got something called the masthead. On the bottom, you got something called the footer. In the middle, you can say something called primary image. Now, mind you, this is a very basic design, but it'll look decent enough. You got to start and you got to finish. That's the way you have to guide the eye. There is no other way you can guide. Now, if you are designing for the Arabs or the Jews who read from right to left, it's a different, you got to flip the entire design. So, which is what we've been doing in Dubai and in the Middle East for so many years too. And the start on the top left is the most important place. So you generally put your logo there. Now, let me tell you, these are only guidelines. These are not hard and fast rules. These are only guidelines. You start with your logo there. And on the on the bottom right, because your eye ends on the bottom right, that's a good place to put your secondary image. Not the primary image, but the secondary image. And this is an optional area for the secondary image. Now we shall go to Canva. Okay. Can you still see my screen? No, you can't see the screen. Okay. I'm going to share the screen again. All right. Okay. Share. Can you see my screen now? Canva. Okay. I was wondering if you could see the screen because all of you disappeared suddenly. So you guys just left me. Anyway, remember the 64 squares. So this is just a dummy kind of a thing, which I just made up for everybody. So I've broken up this Canva canvas, gosh, that's funny, Canva canvas into 64 equal squares, just to show you how to design. So for speed of time, I'm going to take the colors. So I'm going to create over here the masthead. So those top 2 squares become the masthead. And I continue creating on the bottom. Always remember the footer is smaller than the masthead. Now this is not a great looking thing. And then I take the logo. Remember where I told to put the logo. Always top left. So now this is a bit too big. So I can make it smaller. And now I bring on the important information on top. Let's say, okay, Sparkle V Toastmasters, for instance. Sparkle V Toastmasters. Okay. Whose club is Sparkle V? Oh, okay. Yeah. All right. Oh, I forgot. Rajesh was sitting there. She's going to kill me after this. Okay. Now, remember something I said about the positioning. Nobody cares if you're Sparkle V or Sparkle F or Sparkle G or Sparkle L or whatever. Everybody cares about what you can do for them. So we put the benefit over there. And what is the benefit? It is this little sentence which has gone all black. And it says, free join us. This is the most important part of his poster actually. Free, join us to boost your public speaking skills. Without that, no stranger is going to be bothered whether it's Sparkle V or Sparkle K or Sparkle D. They're only worried about this one thing. What is the benefit? Think about it. You have a car to sell. You advertise. Cadillac ATS, it's got 4 wheels and it's got a steering wheel and a radio, and it's about 4 years old. It's run about 200,000 kilometers, and it's available for $100,000 dirhams or whatever. It's going to get lost. It's going to get lost completely in the clutter of all the car ads, second-hand car ads. How do you make it stand out? You make it stand out by saying something like, buy the Cadillac ATS and look classy or something. So there's got to be a differentiator that brings a benefit to the target audience. That's when people are going to call up, hey, I'm interested in that Cadillac you were putting up for sale, because it drives something from within. This is basic human psychology, if you will. And then we can put in, oh, that's coming again. Okay, fine. So we can get rid of this and we can put in this. Yeah. Now you see, if you can notice something, don't worry about the layout fine tweaking. But if you see, free join us to boost your public speaking skills is in yellow. Why? Because the rest of it is in white. So the free join us to boost your public speaking skills stands out from the crowd. That's how you grab eyeballs. In the past, it was all about footfall. Now it's all about eyeballs. And you can make this a bit smaller before yeah, there you go. So you have, you can center align it. Now you got to keep in mind the height, the gap from here to here should be about the same as the gap from here to here. Only then it looks balanced. And this gap is slightly more than this one. Then you got something called the footer. So let's see what goes here in the footer. Footer, we can put this here. As you can see, there's not much information that goes into the footer. So we can even reduce this to just fit. Always keep in mind the footer should be smaller than the header. Otherwise, when a person sees your poster, the eye will automatically go to the footer because that's the most prominent aspect of your poster. And they will miss your main message that is written on the header. And now we can put a picture, if you will. I got the Mount Rushmore here. Maybe, yeah, there it is. Okay, you can expand it and bring it over there, and you can send it back Now to send it back, you got to go to layers and go to right click on your mouse, go to layers and send to back. Boom, it's gone back. It's gone behind. Now you got this, you can get rid of this 64 squares. And here, if you want, you could add a major headline. Looking good, speak good. Mind you, keep it left aligned. Keep it left aligned because we belong to a system that actually reads from left to right. So there you have it, a simple poster. Now, if you really want to get cute with it, you can even do some other things like, okay, can make it really big. Now, your eyes go immediately to speak good because it's so big, it's in bold and all that. So what you do to balance it is you go up here to your top right, there's a button called transparency. So you can see 100% transparency, you can reduce that. And there you have it, a simple poster. And you can keep replacing this image with any other image. Let's see now. Where is it? Uploads. Uploads. Let's see. Okay. Okay. This is a poster which I created for Smart Talk. I'll use that. It's a funny guy. Again, right click, layers, send to back. Is that clear? Is that clear how to make a poster? Do you want me to show it to you again? It's good. Okay. Look good, speak good. I love this picture of this elephant. Okay. In that case, Shalu is also sending me the tough stares. So in that case, I will hand it over to Aditya and Thangam. And if any of you guys have got any questions, we are going to send you a questionnaire also after this meeting. We'll send a feedback form after this meeting, and it'll also be followed up with a brief summation, a summary of this meeting, and that'll be sent to you by tomorrow. Over to you, Thangam and Aditya.
Thank you, Toastmaster Anil. And just like that, we come full circle. From what even is branding to designing live posters. You didn't just attend a session tonight. You took your first bold step as a brand master.
Remember, branding isn't about being perfect, it's about being clear, consistent, and courageous.
Every club poster you design, every caption you write, every reel you create, you're not just prompting a meeting, you are telling a story and you are building a legacy.
So, as we close tonight's journey, hold your head high. Remember, an idea is that something which sets apart. And you are not just VPPR. You are the voice of your club, the face of its story.
To end this evening on a high, let's bring back the one who lit the torch at the very beginning.
The powerhouse of Division G, our very own vibrant, compass and catalyst. Please welcome once again Toastmaster Rajeshwari for the closing remarks.
Hello, everyone.
Hello.
Yes. So, dear Toastmasters, what an insightful and empowering session we just witnessed, isn't it? A huge thanks to Toastmaster Anil Constantine for not just walking us through the guidelines, but for inspiring us to think beyond logos, colors, and fonts. Today, we learned that branding is not just visual, it's emotional, experimental, and also deeply personal. Remember the story that I shared at the start? That guest who was drawn in by a simple poster? She eventually became a member and now she's a club officer. All because someone took the time to represent their club well. That's the ripple effect of good branding. Each one of you now have that power to create those ripples through thoughtful designs, consistent messages, and a clear, authentic voice for your club. Let's not let today be just another session. Let this be a turning point. Let this be the moment your club decides we are not going to show up, we are going to show up right. I encourage you to take these learnings back to your clubs. Redesign that flyer, reimagine that social media post, reinforce your club's identity. Because when your brand shines, people come closer. They listen, they connect, and they stay. As custodians of Toastmasters experience, it's now our hands to shape how the world see us and most importantly, how it feels about us. Branding is the process of connecting good strategy with good creativity. So let's stay strategic, creative, and most of all, stay inspired. Thank you for being part of Brand Masters. Let's go build our brands, speak, spark, and shine. So now that we have extra buffer time, Anil, can we take few questions from the audience before we give them the forms to fill rest of the questions? What's your opinion?
Yeah, sure. I didn't know that we had so much buffer time actually because I couldn't see Shalu at all. And
She was just flaunting the green card. You had yellow and red to come up. But nevertheless, now the audience can go ahead and ask their questions.
yeah, just send it in and we'll try our best to answer
So the
it.
Grandmaster has given his permission. Now let's go ahead and ask those questions which you have in mind.
Toastmasters, put your queries on the chat.
Any candid questions you can ask. Even you can ask how you make those wonderful images, what are the prompts you give, like all kind of questions which I ask Anil personally. How do you come up with those images? So I once asked him to give me the exact prompt you gave for this particular image, because we also give prompts, but the images which are given by AI are pathetic. So I was so curious to understand how he gave those prompts that it created a wonderful image which is eye candy. So any questions you have in your mind, please go ahead and ask.
We have a first question from Toastmaster Arati Rajeshwari. How creative can one be when there are strict brand guidelines in Toastmaster International?
So, since it's come through chat, should I respond through chat or should I just speak? Okay, I'll make it easy. You can be as creative as you want to be, because I have personally created more than 15 to 20 brand guideline manuals for major corporations, personally drafted them, and those are still used all around the world. So, no brand guideline limits your creativity. Every brand guideline is only used as a foundation for your creativity. Look at it that way. Don't look at it something as something that should that is trying to strangulate your creativity. Don't look at it something like that at all. It's not. Uh, don't look at it look at it as the bare necessity of a foundation. Okay, you got four colors you can play with. You got certain kinds of logos you can use. You can't use more than one logo on a piece. Then you got to have an image. Is there, and you got these Toastmasterish kind of images where you can't use certain kind of things. So within that, that's your foundation. Within that, be as creative as you can be. Uh, most of the posters which I make get a lot of traction. They pass from club to club. And I'm not blowing my trumpet here, but it's because I get a lot of anonymous WhatsApp messages. How did you do this? How did you do that? And etc., etc. So I just tell them, okay, I use Sora. I don't know who I'm talking to. I use Sora, then I use Illustrator. That's Adobe Illustrator. Then I use Adobe Photoshop, and I finally wrap up the whole thing with Adobe InDesign. But I keep telling them the most important thing before you even open Canva is you need to have a great idea. A great idea will have legs. It will run on its own. I hope does that answer your question? Okay.
Thank you, Toastmaster Anil. I hope Arati have got the answer.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay,
Thank
Jyoti is asking about, yes, really curious to know how to make such 3D images. Oh, that's very simple. You got something called Sora. That's a image and video creation device, AI device coming from ChatGPT. And you can put in a prompt and it'll give you exactly what you prompted. It won't give you anything else. And always keep in mind, you need to have a good idea about lighting, about camera apertures, and the styles, different styles of great artists, so that you can tell Sora, I want it in the style of Monet, for instance, or Van Gogh, or Gauguin, or Le Corbusier, and so on and so forth. And then, of course, camera angles and especially camera apertures, all that you need to have at least a basic understanding to instruct Sora, because Sora will only move as per your instruction. So if you want, you could send me, Jyoti, you could send me a message later on, and if you got an idea in your head and you want to make it come to life, yeah, I could probably help you with a kind of a prompt you could insert into Sora, and you could get that kind of an image. And then, of course, you got to look at the uh, you got to look at the landscape or the portrait for format of the image. But we can talk about that later. Anil Arbab, you slayed it. It was one hell of a gig. Yeah, thank you very much, Rakesh. Yeah, Rakesh is the embodiment of smart talk. He's the guy who actually uh, he's the guy who actually represents smart talk in its holistic nature. And when I say holistic nature, I mean I'm not making fun of his holistic uh, character or anything. But actually, that is the personality of Smart Talk. It's very easygoing, it's very light-hearted, and that's what I like about it. So that's why I decided, let me write the positioning statement for this. Let me start creating posters and let the magic happen. Because it's happened with Dubai, so it can certainly happen with a Toastmasters club. Okay, other than posters, what is your take? Who's this? Vishak. Oh, ISRO. Other than posters, what is your take on making trending reels for increasing followers? Any suggestions on making such? Of course, you got to make trending reels and stuff like, but those reels should embody the personality of your club. For instance, just to just to draw extremes, let's say your club is a very funny kind of a club, a humorous club. You wouldn't make a reel for that club based on something like that Brad Pitt movie called Fight Club. You know, you wouldn't make a movie, Brad Pitt and Edward Norton. Yeah, they were the two guys. You wouldn't make a movie, I mean, you wouldn't make a reel based on that just because it's got the word club at the end of it. It's called Fight Club. No, you would make something that is in line with humor. For instance, somebody walks into 10 different clubs and uh, he's looking for something funny in his life or whatever, but he can't find it, and he just finds your club, and your club is the funniest thing on the surface of the earth, and voila, his problems are solved. At the end of the day, it's all about the benefit we offer our target audience. If there is no benefit, there is no audience, there is no connection, there's nothing happening, there's no magic happening. Who's next? I hope I'm answering all the questions okay. Uh, uh, Joe Abraham, thank you so much, TM Anil, for the lovely insight into branding. What tool would you recommend for creating people avatar posters? Sora, definitely, and touch up on Photoshop, because lighting, Sora doesn't get it right most of the time. You got to light it up properly on for Photoshop. Canva cannot do these kind of things. Canva, what I do is I create the stuff on Sora, then I take it to Photoshop, touch it up on Photoshop, and use a bit of Illustrator also, because Illustrator is so accurate, it's so precise. And then I finish it up on InDesign. The whole process takes me about half an hour, 30 minutes or so, 1800 seconds. But I would definitely look at that. But the good news is there are a lot of free softwares that do a lot of stuff which Photoshop does now online. So you can use those softwares if you can't get Adobe Photoshop, if you can't get a subscription to Photoshop, use some of these softwares to at least get halfway there. And before you know it, you probably go the whole hog. Okay. Oh, Rashmi, happy birthday, Rashmi. Show me an example of the prompt you used to create the elephant image. Oh gosh, I got to search for that. I can show it to you tomorrow if you will. Because if I get out of this screen, I have no idea how to get back into the screen. So, can we do that question tomorrow?
Yeah, sure, no problem.
Okay.
Maybe
All
we
right.
can include that in the
It's a
document that you
long
are sending.
form. Sorry?
Can you include that in the document we are sending for all the participants so that they can have a...
Yeah, sure. Why not? Good idea.
Okay. Thank you.
Rajeshwari always comes up with the bright ideas. That's why she's sparkly. Sparkly, yeah. Okay. Any other questions, guys? Gosh, that was a corny statement. Any other questions? Aarti, I hope I answered your question. Due to the large number of participants in this meeting, system messages for those who joined or left have been disabled. Okay. I don't think Aarti's here. She hasn't responded. Any other questions?
Yes, Anil Aarti here. Yes, thank you for answering.
Oh, okay. Who was that? Oh,
That's
that
Aarti.
is oh, okay. Yeah. Okay, cool. Yeah. You just got to be creative. That's it. Okay, there's a feedback form for everyone who attended. Please fill it up so we can polish it. This is the first time I'm doing this on screen. It's a weird feeling because I prefer face to face, and that's where I'm most convincing and most where I actually believe in every word. This one I'm really distracted by so many buttons and so many stuff that's going on at the same time, all kinds of things. Anyway, Joe Abraham wants to know, are you in Trivandrum or Kochi? Would like to meet you in person and say hello. I'm in Trivandrum right now. Where are you? I also would like to meet people in person, not through cameras. He is in Cochin. Okay, you can come down to Cochin. I mean, you can come down to Trivandrum, or the next time I'm in Cochin, I can give you a tinkle. Sure, thanks. Wonderful. Any other questions?
Request everyone to fill up that feedback form before we wind up. We'll give you 2 minutes to fill up that form. It's a very small form.
Yeah, you can. It's a rapid fire kind of form. Thanks for sharing your knowledge with us, Anil. Oh, you're most welcome, sir. You're most welcome. Arun Kumar N. Well, if you guys really want to know what we're doing, I could just plug in the company I'm working for. I'm a co-founder of Shraddhax. Shraddhax is a total branding firm, and our firm is, a completely unique approach to branding, a completely different approach to branding. It's based on a lot of experience I've collected over 35 years, and I put together a team. It's a fantastic team that brings in so many perspectives into branding. So feel free to reach out, and I can even share. We're based in Kawdiyar, just above Paul's Creamery. And we're a pretty relaxed bunch of guys, and we're already getting a lot of traction from big and small clients. Vishak Shashidharan, thank you, Anil. It was a well-conducted session with an innovative break for summary after each segment. The content was also spot on. Hey, thank you, Vishak. Really appreciate your words on that. Big fan of your ISRO stuff. On continuing showing not found. Jyoti Pradeep. On continuing showing not found. Oh boy. The feedback form is not found. Okay. It's lost. It's lost or found. Isn't that how it goes? Either you lost or you found. Now, got it. Oh, Jyoti's got it. Way to go, Jyoti. Okay. Anybody else having problems? I dare not get out of this screen because I have no idea how to get back into this. Thank you so much, sir. The session was great. Remia. Thank you, Remia. You're welcome. I'm glad you could appreciate it. And I hope you could get points from it to